everybody! I'm Annabelle, and today we have Mr. Amenta here from the high school, who is an English teacher as well as the video production teacher and the musical and play director. So, Mr. Amenta, would you mind telling us more about yourself and your position?
Sure thing. Yeah, I do a lot of things. Mostly the senior level courses for English electives. I've taught a lot of electives at the high school. I'll be teaching sophomores this year, which is a little change up. So I've done a lot of stuff in terms of the English courses, which is a lot of fun. Always changing it up, doing something different. And one thing I really love is video production. So that's something that I teach at the high school. And the theater program is, one of my favorite things to do over at the high school. And that is something that is in the swing of things right now, trying to figure out what we're doing for this year. Obviously, with COVID, it's tough. It's tougher than past years to try and choose our shows, but I think it's the most fun I could ever have, so I'm happy to do it.
We love having you there. How long have you been doing the musicals at the high school?
So I started doing the musicals, I think it was 2018. So we did Curtains was my first one, and then Footloose. Addams Family was chosen next. Obviously, COVID kind of made us push that away to the next year. So we did Addams Family for 2 years, and that's it. It's gone by real fast.
How has it changed since you first took it over? Have you added anything or taken anything away?
Well, the musical is such a big traditional community school pride, just one of the best things we have in New Milford, I always say. So I kind of fell into that, and the first couple of years I was just like, let me just make sure we're maintaining the high quality, the excellence. And I hope we've done that. I think we've done that.
I think we've done that.
In terms of things maybe I've changed, I really am a big proponent of theater is all encompassing of not only the actors but the crew and the pit when we have a musical. So I like to I'm a person who likes to have my hand in everything and I like working with the crew a lot on Saturdays. And I'm a big proponent of having the student designers really have their thoughts, their ideas come forth. It's all of our musical together. We're trying to put something on. Theater's about collaboration. So I'm trying to, and it's been slow going, but because how everything's been going in the past couple of years, I want to add more design meetings, I really think it's important to treat it like a real production where, in a real production, you would have designers going off and doing, figuring out research on costuming for this time period, or, what does the set require? What can we do with what we have? What should the color scheme be? Things like that, I think are really exciting opportunities, especially for students who are interested in design, building. So I think that's something that, as I've taken over the musical, I'm very interested in doing, and having a core team of student designers. It's hard with the pit. This past year, we weren't able to have a pit. I'm hoping we will this year. I don't really know. So, but I'm, in school, I was a musician, and I played in some pits in my day. And I think it's the most fun you can have, as in theater. In all of these different aspects of theater, I've been able to have a lot of fun being behind the scenes, on stage, in the pit. So I really love seeing those students work, practice, and do great things. It's something that I hope to bring back, but it's not totally up to me, unfortunately. So we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, you do so much. Everyone who's involved, they do so much.
We have a core team of Miss Rosen, an amazing music director. Can't do it without her. She does great things, getting students to sing just unbelievably from their growth from the beginning to the end under Miss Rosen's tutelage. It's amazing. And I work with Mrs. Holm, who helps with the crew. behind the scenes, does so much with props and lighting. She teaches me a lot. We work together really well. We've had, Mr. Louise, who's helped us with our set design, set building as well, and Miss Vitale in the musical doing the choreography, and hopefully Mr. Bohemus will be back with us to help lead the pit. So it's such a great. I think I have a really great team. Which every year I've done the musical, I've worked with great people, but in the past few years it's always kind of moved around a little bit. Some people step away, some people come up. So now I feel like finally we have a solid group that's been coming back, and we can kind of plan together, and I think that's really wonderful. You need that.
Yeah, I mean everyone all the teachers, Miss Rose and Miss Patel, everyone did such a great job like adapting to this year with the pandemic and everything. It was a lot of changes, but they did it really well. Now, how did you adapt to not having a live audience this year for our musical?
So yeah, this past year was a challenge. I knew that was going to be really hard, not having an audience. But I thought the students did an amazing job. Just I didn't have to pull anything from them. I thought I would have to, but all of you just were just on. When even though there was no one in the audience, you didn't need that, which is really wonderful. I don't think I said it back when we had to be canceled the first time or postponed, that theater does usually require an audience, right? We have actors and people behind the scenes working to put on a show for an audience, but we doesn't matter if it's one person in the audience or 100. You're still putting on the same show. And still putting in all that same effort. So, to me, it was like, yeah, we don't have people in the seats, but, there's people out there who've been working really hard, watching all the great work that's happening. And that was enough. That was enough to know that, we are doing it to be filmed and to be shown live streamed or scheduled streamed out to an audience. They're not there right now, but they're there. And we're all an audience to each other's great work. So it was a lot. But we did it. We filmed it, and it took a lot of planning. And I can't stress enough how helpful my whole team was to make that happen. It was very ambitious. I know when I kind of said I wanted to do this, people were like, "This is going to be hard and stressful," and it was. It really was. But I do believe that if you work hard, you can make something amazing happen, and we did. Yeah, I think we really did.
It really was amazing. Everything that you guys did. I mean, the film crew was incredible.
Yeah.
They really did a great job.
I mean, we're lucky in that, I teach video production, so I have students that I've seen go through my classes and become really great at editing and filming. So I had people to draw on, and obviously I have some skill in that too to be able to edit this. I know that a lot of other schools were not able to do something like this. It's kind of out of their element. A lot of teachers, I'm on a Facebook group for high school theater directors, and a lot of them are, just were really stressed out, and the idea of having to be also filmers, camera operators, filmmakers, and editors in this whole process of making theater happen this year. And I was lucky that I already had some of those skills. And that my team, was willing to go there and willing to adapt and make things happen. That obviously, it's bittersweet. We all wanted to have an audience, but I'm really happy with the way we did it.
Yeah, I think the way we did it was the best that we could do.
Yeah.
At the time, and we were lucky enough to then put on a live show with the play Almost Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Could you talk a little bit about taking over the play this year?
Sure. So that was something that was really exciting, and certainly again another level of stress. But hey, that's kind of where I live in the stress zone. But after the musical was filmed and edited. And shown and all that, I was presented with an opportunity to take on directing the play, which usually is in the fall. And because this year of COVID and everything, we weren't able to do that. It was put on hold until Mr. Shagru, asked me if I would be willing to do something small before school ended. So, knowing me, I don't do anything small.
Never small.
Because Mr. Trudeau was thinking, like, maybe some scenes, just throw up some scenes up there. And I was like, no, no, no. I want to do something that's, maybe not well known, although Almost Maine is one of the most produced high school shows out there. A lot of the audience members might not know what it is, but that's fine with me. I did want to do a piece, something that was, beginning to end, something that would be, riveting to watch and have a story compelling, and Almost Maine fit all the check marks for us because it's something that you don't need to have, a ton of people on stage and from beginning to end telling this one story. It's all these little stories, so we could get away with just having two people on stage at a time, three people, and rehearsing, in that way that wasn't going to be too stressful at the very end of the year. I think it really worked out perfectly. I was very, very proud. It was the first play I've directed, and the cast was amazing. The cast was wonderful. The crew was so great. The crew did all of that work on their own. Usually we have, more parent volunteers to help us build the sets, but this year with COVID, that was another difficulty was we haven't had people be able to come in because of COVID and fingerprinting and all that, and kind of just keeping volunteers away for the time being. So the students did that all themselves, and it was wonderful. And again, like I said, I loved being able to talk to them about, I have some ideas for designs, but I'm no designer. I'm not that creative in terms of art and things like that, and colors. And so being able to talk to the students and them coming up with such incredible designs and sets, that was something a lot of people told me at the end. Were like, wow, the set was great. And I was like, well, the students all really did that themselves. So thank you.
Yeah, we had such a short amount of time to put that together, like just a little over a month, and it was really incredible throwing it together that fast. And the sets were amazing, even the lighting things and the magic that happens on stage.
Yeah, we did some Northern Lights magic on stage, and it was really crazy. I mean, there really is nothing I can say more than just how insane it was that we tried to do that in such a short time and pulled it off. Because but again, it's a testament to the students I work with. They learned their lines and did amazing things up on that stage. They learned their cues, the lighting and all that happened in such a short time because I think people were hungry for it, to be able to put on a show knowing this one's going to have an audience. Mm-hmm. And that was just a great feeling, having an audience back in the space. It was, theater was back.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that you've kind of combined the musical and the play into the whole NMHS Theatre brand. I love that it kind of brings everyone together. For a while, it was kind of these two separate entities, but now all the theater kids are kind of together in one big happy family.
Yeah, I that was always a goal of mine, is that, from when I went to high school, that was how it was. You had a fall play and a spring musical, and it was under one umbrella of we called it drama club. To me, I like this NMHS Theater is, like I said, encompasses so many different people from so many different skill sets. You have the crew, people who just like to build, who just like to paint, who want to actually work with the technology of sound and lights and all those things. That's awesome. We need them, regardless if it's a play or a musical. We're going to need them. We're going to need those people to want to come back and work with people that they are friendly with, right? You want to create that family environment. Theater really is like that. When you work with these people in such close proximity for so long. So to have that carry over is really important to me, so that between fall and spring, unfortunately, what happens with plays is there's not as many parts in a play as there is in the musical. So for people who want to be on stage, it's harder. It's harder to get into the play, unfortunately. I wish there were plays that had tons and tons of roles, and there really just isn't a lot of those. So the musical is more if people are looking to perform on stage, the musical is a better chance of that. I know there's always, I don't sing very well, but as I tell people, there's not only one way to be involved in the show. You might think that, and this happens so many times with students I've had in the years. People think, I want to be on stage. That's where what I want to do, to be in the play, to be in the musical. They might not get in. But then they decide, okay, well, maybe let me go to some of the set building days, and they discover that they love that because there's a community of people there too. And they're doing things that are going to have a great impact on the show. So when you watch the show later, your family comes to see it, you can say, "Oh, I painted that, I built that. That's my work up there." So that you are represented, you are on stage, just not physically, but your work is up there. And I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, every aspect of it being on stage, the sets, the lighting, the run crew, it's all student led, and the results are absolutely incredible. I definitely think it's one of our biggest bragging points in high school is our musical. And I mean, to the extent that we do the Halo Awards every year, could you talk a little bit about our participation in that?
Yeah, so the Halo Awards. So I guess to answer your question, one of your first questions was what's something I've added onto the program since I've been there. Is the Halo Awards. We go to the Halos every year. That's not something we used to do from as far as I knew, but I had known about the Halos for a while as a Connecticut high school theater awards ceremony that they honor students who've been working on the stage, off stage, and putting on theater work. And I think it's really an incredible thing to be able to, at the end of the year, celebrate what you've done and what other schools have done in terms of advancing theater in the communities that we're all a part of. So yeah, we added we the first year I directed curtains, we went to the Halos. And we've been going ever since. And as far as I could tell, students really love to be in the room with all these other students who do theater. All the theater kids are together to celebrate, watch each other perform. And yeah, there's awards, obviously. And I always say it's not for the awards that we do these things. It's just a nice little reminder to be recognized that people care about what we're doing and should celebrate it. So so this past year we did the Halos. It was all virtual, of course, because of COVID. But I'm happy to say, I'm so pleased to say that we won in several categories. We won for Best Scenic Design, which I think we really stepped it up this year in terms of the set design. A lot of people told me that have seen the show were like, your sets were amazing.
Yeah, we really stepped it up this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that I didn't really think about it in the moment. I was just like, oh, we need something that, because Adam's Family was very technically challenging. And there are a lot of set pieces. There are a lot of things that need to happen. And, we just kept pushing and obviously we weren't, we didn't have our sights set on we're going to get best set design or anything. We just wanted to challenge ourselves and make the best we could. And certainly, we had been working on the show for longer than usual because it was originally for 2020. So we had some more time to get everything right. But in a lot of ways, we pushed ourselves. We made a tree out of paper mache. That was very challenging. Our students designed that and made that happen. The picture hallway was one of my favorite set pieces. There was just so much going on, and it was very, very involved. And we have so many great student designers, painters to make that happen. So we won Best Set Design, and it was great to see the students that had an active role in leading those designs were named for that. And we won, Tyler Holm won Best Lead Male Actor, I believe, in a musical, which was really, really awesome to see. Tyler really just did amazing things up there. I couldn't believe, that he won twice because he had won another Halo for Footloose for Best Supporting. But of course, he deserved it. He's someone who works so hard and just becomes his character. And in that show, if you watch The Addams Family, he's up there the whole time, basically. It's something that you don't see in a lot of musicals. Usually the way musicals are written, there's a secondary group of characters that you'll follow and the other ones are off stage. But Tyler S. Gomez is up there all the time, singing so many songs of so many different styles. Miss Rosen did an incredible job with him to teach him those songs and get his voice there. There's so much growth there. So I really think he deserved that. I think all of our actors did an amazing job and certainly deserved their roles, and many of them were nominated, which I think that's really nice to see. Not everyone's going to be able to win. The Halos do a great job of spreading the wealth and spreading the love. No one's going to sweep at the Halos, even though personally I think we should.
We could have.
But every theater's going to think that, right? I know every year we've done a show, I know that was the best show ever. This was the best cast ever, the best crew, the best pit. Doesn't matter if we win it or not. It's nice to be nominated so that other people you can hear that they recognize that, yeah, we did something that was remarkable in some way. Yeah. So we won all those, and we won Best Musical.
Yes, we did.
And we did.
That was our big victory.
Huge victory. That was just an amazing accomplishment to win Best Musical for, as I said, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I know. I mean, you were up there for 14 hours.
14 hours
filming the whole thing. How did that feel? Let me turn it on to you here.
It was exhausting, stressful, but by the end, the whole time you were thinking, man, okay, like 3 more songs, 2 more songs. But by the end, we didn't want it to end. We were like, no, we want to stay. We want to keep doing this. Because by the end, you have so much fun. You just go all out. Like this is your chance to show people all of the work you put into this, like all of our skill, all of our time. It just, as stressful as it was fun. It was fun to do, and especially for this, because we really only performed once to film it. Everyone just went all out, and I think everyone backstage was very supportive of each other, trying to keep each other going. So it was cool to see that part. It's like we're all tired, we're all hungry, stressed, but like we kept each other going, kept our energy up, and once you're on that stage, you get that boost of energy. There wasn't an audience, but you still felt like, this is it. This is the show. Like, this is the moment of truth here. And it paid off. Winning Best Musical was... It paid off. I can't even describe how ecstatic everyone was when we won that, and everyone's texting each other, calling each other, like, we did it. We put all of the work into this.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
That's great. Yes, that was one of the problems with, the COVID year. We weren't all together. Normally we'd all be seated together at the Palace Theater, and we'd all erupt and applause and run up on stage together. We couldn't do that. But that's just great to hear about how, you guys were just so, you felt that it was showtime, right? And, even though it was 14 hours, it was way longer than a normal show. Yeah, you guys performed, every time you were up on that stage, and that was so special. I think, it wasn't our plan to have it be filmed all in one day. Obviously, COVID had other plans for us, and we went with it. But I think, looking back, it was the best way to go, just because, it was all of that. Normally 3 months of work, but this time it was a whole year more than that of work, finally culminating in this long performance day, and at the end of it, it was like it was the end of the show. People were crying, and as they're getting out of costume, hugs, and I'm gonna miss you and all those. So it just felt pretty amazing in that moment to be able to say we did that, and then to win Best Musical is just incredible.
Yeah, and it was amazing just to be able to perform after not having theater for almost a year. Like, everyone just wanted to jump back into it, and I think then doing Almost Maine afterwards and having an audience, like, just the rush I know that I got from that at least was, insane. We waited for so long. COVID really hit us theater people hard.
Yeah.
But we adapted. We made it work, and I watch all the Broadway actors, professional actors who they also recorded shows or streamed things, and it's like we were doing that too. Like, it feels like a real performance production, and it's just it really is incredible what we do. And I tell people all the time, like, theater is one of the best things you can do in high school. It'll pay off. Like, you will fall in love with it, and the people, all of it is amazing.
I agree completely, and I gotta say, I mean, I hear it all the time from people who say, like, maybe they joined their senior year and they do it, and they're like, that was the most fun ever. I wish I had done it every year. And I'm like, yeah, where were you? We're here. We're here to be able to, like I said, we want to work with as many people as we can. Obviously, it gets tougher, and every show is going to be different. And that's what another thing I tell people is, maybe you didn't get in on one show, but there's so many different variables as to why or why not. It's never personal. Try again, or seek out being part of the crew, or even if you don't want to, even if you're like, I don't like to build or paint, join the front of house, like sell tickets, be an usher for us. There's so many things that you can do to be part of the NMHS Theater program, even if you don't sing or dance or act or whatever. We'll try to find a spot for you if we can, because I do think it is one of the best things you can do in any school. I tell people, even if in community theater, like go out and see what's around you. I know it's hard now with COVID, but go out for a show, try out for a show, and because you do form wonderful bonds with those people that you're with. If you become a family, you push yourself, you challenge yourself, and then when it finally comes to showtime, all that work you've put in, it pays off. It always pays off, and it feels good to know, wow, I did something that moved somebody in some way, made somebody laugh, made somebody cry, made somebody just kind of shake around their seat, want to dance with you up there.
Yeah.
It's powerful. So, like you said, for us theater people, not having anything like that for so long was really hard. I know what hit me, not only being able to do it, it was a blessing to be able to do theater with you guys for the rehearsals, and obviously for showtime. But what really hit me was when we all watched the show together.
Yeah.
I was able to, because then our theater was full for the first time, and it was all of us, people who've been part of this whole thing, being able to watch ourselves, and people laughing and clapping and cheering and hooping and hollering,
singing along.
That was a really special moment that I'll always remember.
Yeah.
And treasure.
That was incredible to be together and to watch, all of our hard work, to see it on the screen, to be able to say like we did that.
Yeah, and supporting each other when people come up on screen and people are yelling and screaming for everyone. Like there was a lot of love in this cast. That was another special moment. Was I don't know if you remember, but like the day before we filmed, we kind of sat down and said, let's do some shout outs. And that was really special. Everyone was kind of acknowledging, all these people, cast and crew, that we've been doing something like this for so long, and supporting each other. And it's important to have those people in your life.
Yeah, I think that was great to do that and to show everyone, our appreciation for one another, and, giving that support. Like that's one of the biggest things is, how supportive everyone is. And again, one of the reasons to join theater. Do you have any messages for either incoming students to the high school or students who are interested in joining theater?
I would say, no matter what, for people coming into the high school, find something to join. I would hope it's theater, selfishly. But number one, find your group, find your community. Find something that you enjoy doing that's going to make school more than just tests and reading and writing papers and things like that. Obviously, school is school. We get that. I think that stuff's important for sure. But school for me always was the extracurriculars that I chose to spend my time doing, because that made me who I am today. So I was part of band. I was part of theater. I think that's really, really important. I think that it might be scary to put yourself out there, to audition for something, or to show up to a band camp or something, or to practice tryouts, whatever, not really know many people. I get that. It is scary to put yourself out there like that, but it's worth it if you find, and maybe some things might not work out, and that's okay too. Try something out, see how it goes. If it's not for you, that's okay. Try something else, because you will find something that has people that you love to spend time with, has things that you love to do, and you'll be rewarded for it, no matter what. So I would say for theater, be on the lookout. I don't know when we're gonna kind of get back into the swing of things. It really depends on what's going on this year with COVID and everything. But we're gonna continue to make stuff. We're gonna make stuff happen, and I hope people come out and see it. And if you don't want to be part of it, my other thing is go see it.
Yeah.
Right? Go see.
Buy tickets.
Buy tickets, because that always makes me really happy is when I see students in the audience, right? Either supporting their friends, or maybe you don't know many people in the cast, but you might fall in love with this story. You might, you might not know that you like musicals very much, or whatever we're doing, but go see a show, because it's part of the community. community. It's something to do that supports, your peers and supports your school. So I would say go see shows. That'd be another thing. If you don't want to be part of it, you can still be part of it as an audience member.
Yeah, I think that's a whole. You are part of it when you're in the audience.
For sure, we need that. Like
Yeah.
we need those people to be in there clapping, laughing. We need that. So that's a way to be part of the theater program.
Yeah, for sure. I hope more people, as hopefully this year becomes more open. I hope more people are able to see the shows, whether it is virtually or if we get a live audience, which would be fantastic. Hopefully.
I would love that.
But yeah, just getting involved any way you can. It's an amazing experience, whether you're on the stage, behind the scenes, or sitting in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You feel something afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You leave with something changed or something that you learned. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, if we've learned anything from how everything's been going with COVID, I think it's, school can become very, very boring if you're just reducing it down to logging on to class and doing the work and signing off, and that's it, right? So I think like I said, even if you're not in the cast or the crew or the pit, going to see it, that's an event that is happening, and I think I've missed all these events, like the talent show or
Yeah.
the basketball game or whatever, like having a group of people come together to be at an event that is produced by the school, and that's so important. Without those, school would be very boring 4 years, and it goes by really fast. So
Goes by very fast.
I would say you got to get involved. You got to do something that makes you happy while you're here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, theater has probably helped me survive almost 4 years of high school. Like,
I've heard that from a lot of people,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons they keep going back to school,
Mhm.
and are able to get through the day, is knowing I have theater practice later on.
yeah, and all the people who join late, like, start early. I'm so glad I joined my freshman year. I almost didn't. I was almost like, I'm scared. I don't know. Like, they do a really good job. Like, these people are really good, but I'm so glad that I did to be a part of it for so long. And even the people who join, sophomore, junior, even we have seniors who it's their first time and they love it.
Mhm.
They wish they had started sooner.
And they become such an important part of it for us. Like, I think a lot of people, I don't know, it's just kind of, everyone has something to give to the program. You might think, no, I'm not very good at singing or acting, so what am I going to do? They don't need me, but we do. We need everybody. We definitely need guys, boys, wherever you are, come out to audition. And I know that's stressful, especially if you've never sang in front of anyone before. It's kind of like, oh no, I have to go up there and sing a song for 3 people I don't really know. I get it. It's weird, but it's worth it. I mean, it's just to be able to kind of see where you might best help us, because everyone does help us make the show happen in some way.
And I think one of the biggest things is, like, we get people from every clique, you could say, in the school. I mean, we have the jocks and the sports people who come and they audition, they love it. And they're really good. Like, a lot of them are amazing. I mean, once you get into theater, all those lines just kind of go away. Those boundaries are gone. Like, everyone is just so accepting, welcoming. Once you're on that stage, like, people in the audience, they could care less, what type of person you are. Like, you're part of that community, and they're just impressed by what you're doing up on the stage.
Right, and you get to be somebody else up there. You get to perform as someone else, which is a really fun and freeing experience, I think. If you go through school, feeling like, well, I'm in this kind of group of people, but theater's open to everybody, and then when you're there, you're acting as somebody else. So it's just very freeing experience to go up there and perform, and be something you've never been before, and just have fun with it. And there's something to be said for playing. Like, when we're little kids, we like to play. We like to pretend we're Iron Man, Spider-Man, and run around. We like to pretend we're these people we see on screen. Well, theater is where you can do that. If you love watching movies, you love watching TV shows, seeing these actors perform. And I think that was something during COVID that we all turned to when there was nothing else to do, it was like, oh, thank God for this TV show getting me through it.
Yeah.
You know, and in this movies that I love to watch, whatever, streaming. You could do that. You could do that on the stage at your own high school if you so choose. So it's a lot of fun. It's the most fun you can have.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I have asked all of my questions I wanted to ask you. Do you have any questions you would like to ask me at all?
I guess I would ask, what do you think to kind of help, get people a little bit more information about the theater program? How do you think theater has helped you out?
I think one of the biggest things is confidence. I mean, I started theater when I was 8, in town at Fine Line, and I was very shy at first. I was very timid. I mean, there were a couple shows where I didn't even want to go out and bow. I did not want to be out on that stage longer than I had to. But I think especially doing the musicals, because I'm not a singer or dancer first. Acting is my primary thing. But I realized that, once you're up there, no one's judging you. No one's there to be like, wow, she's not good at that song, or she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, no, if you need help, like, people will help you, and everyone's boosting you up, hyping you up, like making sure that you feel comfortable. And I think eventually it sort of it's helped me even in classes, like giving a presentation in class, like being on a stage in front of all those people is probably one of the most vulnerable things you can do. And especially my character for Almost Maine was a very vulnerable character, kind of putting her heart out on her sleeve, and like that taught me like it's okay to do that sometimes. Like sometimes that's the bravest thing you can do. And so I just feel like in the long run, it's helped me feel more confident in myself and my abilities, like knowing that I've done the musical for 3 years, and I auditioned, I got in, and I was successful. Like that's probably one of my proudest accomplishments ever, is doing that. But also learning how to be a part of a team, be part of a community. I feel like a lot of times people say like, oh, being part of a sports team, but you learn the same thing in theater. It's still a team. Everyone's got to do their part. Everyone has the role that they play, and I know that's very important going forward, knowing how to work with others. And honestly, just letting out my creative side, bringing out that inner child, and, being someone else and trying new things. All those things have just helped me grow as a person. And, I've learned how much I love theater. It's one of my passions. And now I know, like, something I might want to pursue post high school and college. It's taught me so much. It really has. And I think, no matter what part of theater you're in, whether you're on stage or part of the crew, you will learn something that will help you in the long run. But yeah, all those things have really contributed to who I am now.
Fantastic answer. Annabelle, you killed it. Wonderful. Yes. All of those things and more. It's just, it's the best way to spend your time. It really is.
I really recommend it to anyone out there who wants to join theater. It really is one of the best things. You make a lot of friends doing it too. If you're looking to find that group, you will find people in theater who will do it. So, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Of course. Hopefully, we've recruited some new people for next year, or at least some new audience members.
Exactly. Yep. We need everyone to come down to either be part of the show, on stage, in the crew, in the pit, in the audience. Just be part of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure if anyone ever had any questions, they could visit you or reach out to you.
Yep, reach out to me. My school email, amenta@newmilfordps.org if you have questions. As I said, I don't know how things are going to be quite yet. I'm figuring that out for this year, but I'm always down to talk about anything that you might be interested in.
Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.